You're listening to the World's Team Podcast. It's not just America's team, Cowboys Nation. It's the world's team. Now, here are your hosts, Paul Stewart and Mike Poland.
How about them Cowboys?
Hello, Cowboys Nation. Welcome to another episode of the World's Team Podcast, brought to you by the Believe Network. I am your host, Paul Stewart, and I'm joined, as always, by Mr. Mike Poland. How are we doing, my friend?
Yeah, we're getting there, mate. We've had OTAs. We've had a little bit of information, some news, some bits and pieces coming through this week. So
Debunks as well.
Yeah, that as well, which we'll get into. But, you know, as we were saying last week, we are deep in the lull of the season now. Things are just cooled right off.
Yeah, this is the part of the season where it comes to we're somewhat struggle to kind of stretch the information in terms of content creation, but we're gonna try our best here. But
I thought of something.
What?
That obviously, if you're watching this on the day that this show drops, which would be Tuesday, it's exactly 100 days at that point when the Cowboys face the Eagles for the first game of the season.
It's getting closer, bro. It's getting closer.
100 days and counting.
Cannot wait. But yes, folks, obviously we're here to talk all about all things our Dallas Cowboys, and what way to kick it off. So I think the first thing is talk about the rumors that have been happening with the Cowboys in terms of one certain player, and that is cornerback Jalen Ramsey. So there's been a lot of speculation, especially on social media, about Jalen Ramsey is one that potentially coming to Dallas for a big trade, etc. And lucky enough, that has been debunked by our good friend of the show, who was here a couple of weeks ago, Mr. Bryan Broaddus, and also Mike Fisher as well has also confirmed that. Also, it's basically dead in the water, pretty much. But just hypothetically, though, Mike, if the rumors were true, how would that affect the Cowboys? If this was to happen,
cornerback is still
a need. Yeah,
it's still not. Yeah, it's a need, or you could say has a lot of variable questions around it. You've got two players that have injuries, so Javonte Williams, Trayvon Diggs. So you're kind of like, ooh, what's going on there? And plus, you've got another guy who may or may not join us at cornerback, depending on how his situation goes. I'm on about, obviously, Josh Butler. Who had a brilliant game against Washington.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, dominated that game. But that leaves a lot of questions. So you're kind of like going, all right, so we got Deron Bland. And then you kind of like squinting at everybody else going, what are we doing with all of these? Like, what's happening at nickel corner?
We do have Elam, I guess. Time will tell on that one, I suppose. Are we going to get the first round draft pick version that came out of college, or are we going to get the one that really struggled in Buffalo? That's the question. I always kind of say this, whenever you join a new team, it's a fresh start. Just kind of like what we're kind of mentioned, like George Pickens, given to the whole scenario, it could be a better fit scheme wise, could be a better fit in terms of how you get along with your coaches. It could be one of those situations, but we won't find out till training camp really properly to see how Elam kind of lines up with how things progress within the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, Buffalo. We know a few people in Buffalo over at the Bills, and none of them were disappointed when Elam left. So you're kind of like, okay. That's what I always tend to revert to the opposite, to judge the reaction.
Yeah.
If they're upset and they're downhearted by it, then good for you. If it's kind of like then you're just like, oh, great.
What about the Pittsburgh fans, though, Mike?
Yeah.
Sorry, Pittsburgh. We had to say it.
This is true. Yeah.
Yeah,
but I mean, with Ramsey though, he
Mhm.
would be a nice softener to the situation, and you go, okay, so now Diggs doesn't need to rush back. If you're like still working on things with Siobhan Ravel, you kind of like, well, we don't need to rush. This the other way around. You kind of like trying to force things or push things a little bit to its limits in terms of recovery. But like, I mean, the whole rumor really started and culminated because he bought a home down in Fort Worth,
Yeah.
which is not unknown for active buy property in Fort Worth.
No, Fort Worth is an awesome place to see. I've been there myself. I love Fort Worth. Like I
It's
love
great.
it there. Like beautiful. It's a beautiful city, and
Well
it,
looked after too.
oh yeah, it's immaculate for like
Yeah,
for a big like
for
being
the
like
size and everything.
absolutely. So I mean, I have every intention of going back to Fort Worth when obviously after the Thanksgiving game
Mm,
when I'm staying over in Dallas, I'm going to be doing a bit more sightseeing and stuff like that. Like go like take a rental car, drive about and see more places and that. But the thing is about this whole Jalen Ramsey thing, right? There's a couple of things like if just like hypothetically, if this was to be true, like
mm, mm,
Ramsey is 30 years old.
mm.
Last year, he came back from injury. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, he played for 17 games last year for the Dolphins. I think he made it to the Pro Bowl as well. Good for him. Happy for him in that. But there is also an issue with that. And our good friend Dave Howman from bloggingtheboys.com really did a good article on this. I think he gave up I think it was like a 95% passer rating and I had 60 combined tackles, two interception. No, sorry, two takeaways or one interception. I'll need to double
Yeah,
check the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
statistics,
I'm with you. I'm with
but
you.
but either way, like for an aging cornerback, like the only thing really, like, is it really worth trading for a player like that, given his age, him coming back from injury, and also the fact that, and here's the big kicker, is like we still need to get Micah Parsons done. We need to renew contracts for like guys for next year, like Bland, etc., etc. So
Mhm, mhm.
to me, it made no sense
No.
in this whole regard. Like, like if you were to say maybe 4 or 5 years ago, before he goes to
Oh yeah,
Miami,
yes, yeah, yeah.
it was a no. It's a no brainer. Like I
Yeah.
would take Ramsey then,
You got
one
a
hundred
different
percent.
player there. You got a
Oh, like
totally different player.
Like, don't get me wrong, like, is Ramsey a good player? Absolutely. Like, could he still contribute to this football team? Absolutely.
Mm, mhm,
But
mhm.
like, I'm just thinking from terms of the business point of view, as what the Dallas Cowboys would have been doing quite a lot now,
Mm,
is thinking about the cap, thinking about future. Like, how's
yeah.
this going to affect next year rather than right now? Like, if they really are intending saying now or never for a Super Bowl, I can maybe understand why they may have done the trade if that was the case hypothetically. And I'm going to be using that word a lot. Like, just like I said, the Jalen Ramsey trade rumors has been debunked. It's been
Yeah.
fully like scrapped. Like, so don't get your hopes up, Cowboys Nation. It's not going to happen. So,
And you know, the other part, you were mentioning,
mm,
the future financial side of it all is massive. Like,
absolutely.
he's 25, 25 against the cap at the moment, right? That
Mhm.
contract's gonna follow him. Maybe you could do a bit of jiggery pokery to
It's
get
the
that
last.
down.
It's the last thing the Cowboys need right now, especially
Yeah,
if they're if like because we need to get Micah Parsons extended.
they got 32. They got 32 mil on free to use at the moment. You'll
Mhm,
have one player and just sump all of that before you've got the rest of your own guys. Yeah, and let's say for argument's sakes they get through the season,
mhm,
either injury or let's just hypothetically, yeah, we're doing
mhm,
hypotheticals. They get towards the playoffs and they look at what's available and then they go, we could really add some depth at this position or that position, or this guy, this particular guy will really help us, in the dark moments of a playoff game. If they've just chucked all of that at Ramsey on that side of the season, that's done. Forget
yeah,
it.
yeah.
You cannot cover yourself. I
I
think
would I would
you've got to
rather
be
have
smart
yeah
here.
yeah I would rather get two guys instead of one for that type of like for that type of money. Like, I mean, Stephen. I know there's been debunks with Stephen Gilmore by Jane Slater. I know that, but I'd rather have Stephen Gilmore because that would cost a lot less, and he's been in the building before, knows what to do.
True.
And I think he would be a good fit under Matt Elberfus's scheme. So, regardless of his age. So, I mean, there is other options out there, but it's just all smoke and mirrors at the moment. But like we said, the Jalen Ramsey trade is not going to happen. It is completely debunked. But in other news, CD Lamb has also been given his praise to George Pickens once again, speaking very highly of him. He's been talking to the media, etc. But also, Javonte Williams has been serving quite a lot as running back number 1 in OTAs, and he has made some comments in the media as well.
Yeah. I mean, like, OTAs and all the rest of it, you kind of got to take everything with a kind of a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
But I think what OTAs does is when you look at certain combinations on the roster, if they're using it quite regularly, you kind of like go, okay. And it's not so much the concepts that they're running, more of like the personnel side. And you go, right, okay, I see what you're doing. This looks like a starting front 5 on the offensive line. Dak's back there and he's handing the ball to Javonte Williams. That happened several times. Okay, little bit of a giveaway here. It's just like you're trying to pick at the breadcrumbs of what you're seeing. But yeah, I mean, Williams has made comments because the big negative against him is obviously the lack of production, which fell after the injury. Where basically he just completely tore his knee apart. I mean, we're talking MCL, LCL, structural damage to the knee. Everything was just, it was a whole, like, it was a nasty injury on that knee. People asked him, he turned around and said, look, and his words exactly, he commented saying, I feel completely like myself. I probably can get more flexible and things like that. But as far as healing up, I feel like that is done. That was his comment. So he's obviously feeling confident, medically, in himself.
Which is great when a player's got that confidence
for a running back.
Exactly, because like if your confidence is down, like coming back from an injury, and I don't hate to use this as an example. Let's use Michael Gallup here. After his injury, he was not the same, and you could see that his confidence was not the same. Like, in terms of getting separation, his get-offs was not really as explosive. You can tell his demeanor was different. Like, I would say it's more apparent on running backs per se, because they're like one of the fundamentals to your offense. And if your running back is kind of low in confidence, then you're not really going to expect that much production. But if he's coming into Dallas feeling really confident about his knee and he's really excited, I mean, who knows? Like, Williams could be that guy. Who knows?
He's only 24 years old.
He's still young. That's the thing. He's still a young. Like, he's still young. He's still got the legs and legs to run for the wheels on this.
And he's a bruising. He's that truck type running back that we all know. But apart from the 1 year where he played short because of the knee injury, he's actually never posted anything less than 43 receptions as well in the season. So although he's this bruising truck, bowl over type running back, he's got plenty of options to be used in the receiving game, which Schottenheimer has mentioned about. But the report,
multiple times
versatility at the position.
Yeah, and that's one thing we've mentioned throughout the World's team. It's like from day one when Schottenheimer was appointed as the head coach for the Dallas Cowboys, he wanted diversity in terms of his offense, and that included his running backs. He wanted running backs that can catch. Now, even if you look at the guys that we have brought in, Williams, Sanders, Blue, maybe not so much Phil Maffa, but there's a theme with that, and that's one thing that we mentioned when it came to the draft. There was a theme, and they stuck by it. They stuck to their board.
Yeah, and there's plenty of reports as well that have been coming out during OTAs, talking about that he's struggled to try and get back to that consistent style that he plays with. And I mean, it's understandable with the injury he had. It does take some of the there's athleticism away, but it also takes away psychologically how you feel about doing certain types of runs, or on a play you go, okay, you want me to come in on an ISO through the A gap? I'm kind of, we're doing gap power here. Ooh. It can play on it, but the coaches have all mentioned this week that Williams's workouts and everything, how they're seeing him, they're saying that very atypical burst, the acceleration that he has, along with his lateral quickness and general agility and power, that they're saying all of that was there. It's back to how they viewed his rookie season. I'm not saying that he's back 100%.
Yeah, we don't want to get our hopes up per se.
Yeah. But even if he is, say, medically 100%, Paul, right?
Yeah.
And he's right where he was, but it's like, say, 95% of what Javonte Williams was in his rookie season, because it has taken some away. Still an effective running back.
Oh, 100%. And that's the thing. Like, he's got that dynamic burst around, like you just mentioned there.
Yeah.
If we can get even a glimpse of that, and also because we do have a good like backup to that with like Jalen Blue, like he can be that guy also. But if we can get Williams up to that point where we feel, I mean, if the Cowboys coaching staff are that comfortable and that happy with his progress in terms of the recovery of his injury and in terms of how he's progressing in OTAs, I mean, I'm sitting very happy about it. We just need to see it. We just need to see it in action now. So, so this is why we keep saying we just cannot wait for training camp to really take a deep dive and see how players are getting along so far.
Yeah. I mean, talking about George Pickens earlier, talking about Javonte Williams now, but out of the free agents the Cowboys have signed this year, yeah, right, and there's been a few, which is out of character for Jerry, but of the free agents the Cowboys have signed, which one do you think has the greatest opportunity here, or is most likely to break out the most for Dallas?
I'm going to go a little bit left field here, actually, but I'm going to say Solomon Thomas.
Yeah, what a surprise. The defensive lineman picks a defensive lineman.
Of course, I have to.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you. Go on, carry on.
Like one of the reasons I'm saying that, like, have you seen the picture of Solomon Thomas at OTAs? He is looking ripped. Like, it's probably the best conditioning I've seen him in, like, throughout his whole career. Like, even from his rookie year way up to now, like, he's put on some good size. Like, he's looking very lean. Like, he's like big and lean.
Yeah, he looks more like a pass rusher. It looks like an edge.
Yeah, well, that's what he originally was.
True.
So if he can play like up to that high standard that what he did like in his early part of his career, and like don't get me wrong, I think he was really underrated last year. I really do. Like yeah, you might not get all the like sacks and tackles for loss per se, but my God, like he was eating up some double teams for left, right, and center for a guy his size. Like so
sometimes defensive tackle, they do things that you can't
put
on the stat sheet.
Yeah, I genuinely do believe sometimes, especially the free techs like Osa, like most free techs, they're most likely the unsung heroes of the defensive line.
What they do isn't statistical, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's kind of like offensive line, like
exactly.
Like, unfortunately, like, lucky enough, the NFL now are going to be doing that award now. Like, as the I can't remember the main title of the award, but it's basically going to be like Offensive Lineman of the Year type of thing, and rightfully so. It has to be like that. So, because you've got your Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive Player, but there was just no credit for the offensive line, and they deserve all their love. But going back to
this is where it starts.
Absolutely, it all starts in the trenches.
Yeah, continue with Solomon Thomas stuff.
Yeah, so going back to Solomon Thomas, like if we can even get like him to be as effective to even like help out with the double teams and actually help out with the gap situation, to even free up one of the gaps for like the linebackers to hit the blitz, like that's him doing his job. Like, and that's one thing. He just knows how to get the lower center of gravity on offensive linemen and actually pull off the blocks. That's what I really like about Thomas. So, but seeing him in the shape that he's in right now, I mean, is I don't want to be too optimistic, but it's got me excited. So
it shows commitment. Do you know what I mean? Anybody who shows up like that shows that they're committed to the team.
100%. It shows that they're hungry. They want to win. They want to come. They want to come to Dallas not just for pick up a paycheck. Like if you're coming to a football team in great football shape, then they're obviously here for the right reasons. So, and I think this is accumulated to Brian Schottenheimer, the players that he is bringing in. Like he's bringing in football players. He's not bringing in certain personalities per se. Like are just coming in for a page. Like, and I don't want to kind of like mention one particular name back in the past, and you know who I'm talking about. In fact, I'll mention it just for everyone that is not aware of it. I don't want no Dan Terry Poe type of player to come to Dallas again and just basically
almost happened again this year.
How so?
They were talking to him.
He's not even played a game in years.
I know. They were just apparently there was a rumor. This was going before the draft where they spoke with Dan Terry Poe's agent.
Do you imagine?
I'm not joking. It did happen.
I swear to God, mate, if that was to happen, I would lose my mind. Like, and not in a good way.
Yeah,
I would be cursing. I would be screaming and bawling. I'll be like, no, sorry, I am out for this season because of that. I'm being dead serious.
I agree with you. Yeah.
Like, if you can remember, Cowboys Nation, Dan Terry Poe was the guy that was so lazy in the defensive line that just kept standing up and would not bother to chase after the running back. He was like, he was getting dominated and even on one-on-ones, absolutely dominated. I had high hopes for Poe, like at one point. Like it was like, we're getting Dan Terry Poe from the former Kansas City player. Great. Yeah. Awesome. Absolute shell of that particular player that we got. And that was back in 2000. Like that was the
Yeah.
But the point is, I don't want that type of player again. And this is the thing.
The Mike Nolan defense.
Yeah, well, but going back to my original point, like the thing with Schottenheimer, he's bringing in players that I want to come to Dallas. They want to put in the work, and actually learn not learn, but play the game and follow the direction of what the philosophy that Schottenheimer is wanting to bring. I am fully on board that, because if you're bringing in players that cannot get on board, then what's the point? If you're bringing in players that are willing to learn and actually be part of this, what Schottenheimer is trying to build, then that's something that can be it could be special. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but there if players can get behind the message, like every year, the head coach, whether it was Jason Garrett or Mike McCarthy, it was like 1 year was fight. That was the motto. And 1 year was like that Copa DM, like whatever. I can't remember what that motto was, but it was like in Latin or something like that. But basically there was always a motto, but it was just like, but yeah. My point is, Solomon Thomas seems to be head on what he's looking to do right now. And I'm excited for that. And I think he is going to be that most underrated free agency signing we've had for a long time.
Yeah, I think maybe my question should have been underrated, really. Yeah, that's probably where I was going on that one. But no, I like that. I think it's a toss-up between him. The thing is they've done some interesting stuff. Like, if Kenneth Murray can come in here, when you think of like the linebacker,
I keep forgetting about Kenneth Murray. I keep forgetting about him.
I'm more captain,
To be honest, I've been thinking more of what Jack Sanborn can do as well, because obviously he's got a more understanding what Elbifis is all about. So kind of similar to what Eric Kendricks and Zimmer last year.
With Zimmer,
it was a really good match pairing, like how that worked. So I think with Sanborn, he might be more of a second stringer, but hey, you can still he would understand the system that Elbifis is bringing, and I mean, but you're right. Kenneth Murray is a really like a bit of a
And think of the
sleeper.
linebackers we've got.
Yeah, yeah.
He's going to be starting a lot. And, if he can remain healthy and be like what he was at the start, you've got quite a very dominant linebacker who can cover quite a lot.
Yeah.
And is a good tackler.
Yeah, definitely. But other than that, other news is fullback Hunter Luepke has stated he is not going anywhere soon, pretty much. Like he wants to stay in Dallas, he wants to work his butt off, and also Brian Schottenheimer has made some really positive comments about him as well.
Yeah, I mean, so we spoke. I think it was either last week or the week before when we spoke about Luepke and said, is he going to make the roster? After hearing what Schottenheimer had to
100%.
say, yeah, I think he's making it. Basically, Schottenheimer turned around talking about Luepke, and his words were, "I'd be remiss for not talking about Hunter Luepke. He's playing some running back for us. He's playing fullback, his original position. He's playing some tight end." All he does is do everything well. To me, for a guy who came in as head coach and said, versatility is something I find very important. He's just mentioning
He values it very highly.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
this is what we keep saying from day one. He came in, Schottenheimer. He wants that versatility from the running backs to do it to fullbacks.
Yeah.
Like he wants that versatility to give more options, to give more flexibility within this offense to help Dak Prescott.
Yeah, he's saying he's playing tight end and fullback, so he's talking about his blocking, his running, but also about his receiving, which at North Dakota State was very, very overlooked. He's a great, fantastic catcher of the ball.
Well,
and
that's
we've
the
seen
thing.
it last year.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing that really grabbed our attention. Like, because I don't know if you remember, mate, because when we were doing the mock drafts 2 years ago, like we would always draft Hunter Luepke as our final pick.
Yeah.
Like even though like Hunter Luepke, like in real life, like he was an undrafted free agent. We picked him up, and I think that is really down to Schottenheimer rather than Mike McCarthy. That's my personal belief on that one. Like he wants to keep him around. He's got like he's saying a lot of positives, saying how he likes to utilize Luepke in that regard, from tight end to fullback to running back, catching, running, you name it. Hunter Luepke right now is basically our Swiss Army knife right as of this moment. Are you okay there?
Yeah, sorry, it's the wind outside. I was like, the hell is that noise?
Yeah, so I do genuinely believe Hunter Luepke is our Swiss Army knife.
Definitely, without a doubt. And like, last year, there was like situations where the offense was on third down and Luepke's on the field. There's a number of plays. I'll try and find it. But there's a number of plays where Luepke's there. He's at the first down marker, and Dak is like, okay, let's see. Throws him the ball, makes the catch, gets the first down. So Dak knows there's a level of confidence there with him as well. So that it's another fold in everything that he can do.
Speaking about hypotheticals here.
Yes.
Like, and this is as regards to Hunter Luepke. Do you think we're trying to make Hunter Luepke into that safety blanket now?
I think so. I think that's the way.
That's the general feeling I'm getting right now. Because obviously before it was always like Jason Witten for Tony Romo. He was the safety blanket for that. Jake Ferguson, kind of like obviously maybe not so much last year, but he was a safety blanket. Well, Dalton Schultz was the safety blanket for Dak Prescott for a while. Then we tried to do it with Jake Ferguson. Then obviously last year happened. It didn't really work out. Then we kind of like mixing it up. Then obviously Dak like got injured. So I think with this now, like I think with like Luepke, if we can utilize him in that regard, what Schottenheimer's trying to like encourage to this football team.
Yeah,
I think people are going to hear the name Hunter Luepke a hell of a lot more this year.
Yeah, and like, what do you want on third down? If like it's a passing play, you want it to be like a you want a very high likelihood of it being a successful play. You want it to be a very easy play for your quarterback, for the offense in general. I just think you put Hunter Luepke in it, that adds that element to it.
Well, it really depends. Like you're saying 3rd down, but what is it? Is it 3rd and 20? Is it 3rd and 5? You know what I mean? Like if it's 3rd and 5, then you take the safest option.
Exactly.
But if it's like 3rd and 20, then it's kind of your options are more limited. You're going to
obviously
you're going to have to throw the ball
bread
deep.
and butter plays.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. Like so, I mean, I wouldn't expect Luepke to set the world on fire, like right, like catching a pass and going for like 60 yards run for a touchdown, like that would be amazing.
No, true.
But I think you're going to see more of Luepke like getting those small gains to keep the offense on the field. So I think that's where the safety blanket conversation is now going to coming into play.
Yeah, and we're not sitting here going we're expecting like 5-6 receiving touchdowns and 60 receptions out of him. Not thinking of that at all. Just he's that that safe play, high percentage pass play you bring in with a number of other guys because he's playing from the backfield as well. You don't know what the offense is calling with him because he can be so multifaceted in what he can do.
Absolutely, and especially when it comes to like working on his blocking as well. Like there could be some scenarios where the ball could go to him, but if he's obviously going to have a more first upfront view of any potential blitz. If it's a gap leak, he would have to like escape that route and actually attend to the block and protect that, and that would have to go to plan B, who would be his next option. So that could be Lamb, it could be Pickens, it could be Ferguson, whoever that may be. So that's like, and that's the thing about like the running back position, like especially in pass protection plays. And I think this is where Luepke will start to come into the forward. It's like he can be that extra guy. Like if he can get open and there's no threat to blitz, then it gives that extra option to throw that safe ball over.
Yeah, you just get Luepke. You can see, like you say, run the flat. There we go. Nice option for you.
Yeah, but yeah, folks, but that's pretty much all the news we have for this week. But be sure to go and check us out on social media, on X, Instagram, all of the above. But before we do go, Mike, please take. I can't even speak. It's happened to me every single week now. I keep losing my words.
The man is drunk.
Yeah, but please, Mike, please tell everyone where everyone can find you.
You can find me on Twitter or X at Kenfig Cowboy. That's Kenfig with a K, Cowboy with a K. And you, Mr. P.
You can find me at I am P Stu on X and Instagram. But yes, folks, we'll be back we'll be back in a couple of days' time.
Yeah,
probably. We just need to kind of decide what to cut. Well, we'll try and bring some special guests.
I've got a good one. Yeah.
Oh, you do? All right, okay. But yeah, folks, be sure to go and check out our socials. And but yeah, until then, like we always say here on the World's Team, it's not just America's team; it is the World's Team. We'll see you guys next time.
That's a wrap on the World's Team Podcast. Smash that like button and hit subscribe, Cowboys Nation. This ain't just America's team, it's your team.
Touchdown!
It's the World's Team, only on Believe, where real fans live.
How about them guys?